Prince Harry did not one but two sit-down interviews yesterday ahead of the release of his memoir called Spare, which is expected to drop Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Here to help us unpack everything we've learned so far, and there's a lot, is royal commentator who we love, live from L.A., Kinsey Schofield. Good morning. So good to see you, kids.
So good to see you, too. Wow, what a night.
What a night.
Ooh.
Our L.A. bureau is busy this morning with Devo and Kinsey. All right, Kinsey, before I throw it to the ITV clip that I thought was the bombshell of the evening across the pond over the weekend, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bombshelly was this for you?
I mean, it's pretty bad. I never in my life thought that he would actually attack Camilla. I thought that that was just one of the dirty rumors that were circulating, and I can't believe it happened.
Okay, we'll expand on that here in a couple of seconds, but I want to throw to this, and Prince Harry has denied, again, the Oprah interview 2 years ago,
Yes.
many things came out of it. The one thing was Meghan saying, basically, they're talking about what color my child is going to be after he's born, and overt racism. Like, there was no disguising. The only thing that wasn't said was who said the comment.
That's right.
That's the only thing Meghan didn't give us. This past weekend on ITV, Prince Harry walked that back. Take a look.
In the Oprah interview, you accuse members of your family of racism. You don't even...
No, we didn't.
Well,
The British press said that.
right.
Did Meghan ever mention that they were racist?
She said there were troubling comments about
There
Archie's
was
skin
concern
colour.
about his skin colour.
Right. Wouldn't you describe that as essentially racist?
I wouldn't, not having lived within that family.
Tom Bradby stopped in his tracks at that quote. Kinsey, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
I mean, my God, not only does she say that they were not given security and a title due to their child's skin color, but Harry says silent. He quoted Martin Luther King. He says, like, silence is something. Silence is betrayal. Okay, well, for 2 years, you've allowed us to think that the royal family are racist, and now you're just saying this. Also, don't forget that they just accepted an award from the Robert Kennedy Foundation for fighting racism within the royal family. I mean, you've had plenty of opportunities to say, oh, nobody's racist within the royal family.
What's been the most shocking thing for you? Because it has been one after another with all of these interviews, and the book's not even officially out yet. That's tomorrow. What has stood out the most for you, Kinsey?
Well, can I just tell you, I know everything I've learned about Prince Harry's peen is against my will. And I know this is breakfast television, so I'm going to limit my commentary on that specific subject. But that shocks me. But the idea that he's giving away so much of Prince William's information. Prince William went through the same tunnel Diana died through. Prince William didn't want King Charles to marry Camilla. You know, he's speaking for his brother, a man that is not in a position to speak for himself or respond. And I think that that's a bit cruel.
Kinsey, and I know you're going to correct me, as you justifiably normally do if I get something wrong during this segment, because I am wrong a couple times for sure. But I cannot remember in modern times someone in the royal family this close to the throne come out in this way, this publicly, this consistently. And in what way does anyone believe he's invited to the coronation May the 6th for King Charles? I think it's a fait accompli. I don't think Harry and Meghan are going to be anywhere near that event later this year. Agree or disagree?
I agree that they're not going to show up, but I do think the family will invite them to show that there is an attempt at reconciliation, because Harry describes that a lot, despite him saying that there hasn't. I mean, his brother saying, I love you, I want you to be happy. That seems like an attempt at reconciliation.
That being said, where do they all go from here? Because there is so much being aired. And I have to say, too, they do say get stuff off your chest, it helps you heal. And I also feel we're looking at Harry dealing with a lot of mental health issues. He talks about the fact that he thought his mom, there was like a little bit of glimmer of hope. Princess Diana was alive until he was 23. So there's some deep-seated stuff where he would go as a child, when the funeral and all the flowers and people came out was happening, that he was shaking hands that were filled with wet, moist tears. And they themselves, him and his brother, never had the chance to cry in public because they weren't allowed. So there's some deep-seated stuff that's happening there. Do you think we're just seeing somebody who's really going through it mentally?
Absolutely. And, you know, I do think that that's why the family would be so forgiving. If that's really the tone you just gave, if other people pick up on that, maybe the family's more likely to forgive instead of this vengeance that we're all kind of talking about.
Yes.
Kinsey, final question on my end. If I were advising the royal family from a PR standpoint, because right now it's one-way traffic. The documentary on Netflix, memoir out tomorrow, 2 major interviews on opposite sides of the Atlantic. I would tell King Charles, Prince William, Camilla Parker Bowles, and Kate, shoulder to shoulder, to sit down with the BBC and give an hour interview. Because I think it's time. The old school way of fighting this, look, Prince William was in North America not that long ago. The reception was not great. The PR, they're losing the PR battle on this with a big day coming up May 6th. Do you think that would be the smart play? Is it time for that side to give their side of the story?
Oh, I mean, this is where we disagree, because I do think that it's tit for tat. It's like a tennis game. So if it's he said, she said, and you make yourself look like a reality star. You cheapen your brand if you get into public battles with people. So I think the sitting back and being quiet is in their best interest this time. I'm sorry, Sid, I love you.
The rules of engagement have certainly changed. We're going to have to do more of this because that book's coming out tomorrow. Kinsey, where do we find more info?
ToDieForDaily.com.
Thank you so much.
Kinsey, good stuff.